Yes, yes. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Yeah, good evening, ladies. Right? Oh, wow. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Suzanne, for the invitation. We did the best that we can to provide you guys as much as value as we can. If you don't mind me asking, how many business owners do we have here? Wow. So everybody. Wow, that's amazing. And can everybody get up? We're gonna shake it off a little bit. Could try to get some good energy before we start today's presentation. All right. So shake it off a little bit. So we sorry, we shake it. It's all right. Like obviously my first language is Spanish. Okay, that was in third grade, and then I started learning a little bit of English. So I mean, I got we got some good skills in English. But today we'll talk about how to become a successful business owner. Right. That's, I think, a lot of the reasons why we're mostly here. And I'll be dissecting a little bit about that, right? A little bit about me, a little bit of background. We come from Mexico, and then in my third grade, we moved here to San Diego. And then when I was in high school, I moved here to Yuma, Arizona. And that's why I fell in love in Yuma. I really enjoy it. It's a little hot, right? It's only the hottest city on earth, right? But I really love the vibe. I love the fact that we're not such a large city, so there's still that peace. We don't have that traffic, and one thing that I can tell you is there's a lot of business opportunities here in Yuma. I truly, firmly believe that you're able to scale a corporation starting off by starting here in Yuma, and I can tell you guys I'm a living testimony of that. We've been featured in Forbes. We've been 3 years in a row, the fastest growing companies in the United States for 3 years in a row. And we've been in Wealth Insider, featured in New York Weekly as well. And it all started here in Yuma, Arizona, right? So I'm really grateful that I can share this information with everybody. And I'm sure you girls are going to get a lot of value in what we're going to be talking about. So one of the key things that I firmly believe that an entrepreneur should have, and some of the things that we talked in our interview, is a skill to have a good communication with people, right? Because as we're starting a business, there's two things that are really important. There's one person that's gonna start to do the sales, and there's somebody that's gonna start doing the operation and finances, right? In the beginning, it all depends on your budget. You start doing finances and sales and even doing the product, right? And then there's some other people that start off with a good budget. So you're able to hire somebody to do operations and finance, and you're able to do the sales. Or maybe your skills is more operational wise and is more on the finance. So you start on finance and operations, and you hire somebody to do the sales and the marketing for your business, right? It all depends on your budget. In my case, I didn't come from wealth. I didn't have investors. I just had time for myself, and I found out my skills was in sales, right? So I was like, you know what? I've been in other jobs. I've been in customer service, and I've been in sales jobs, and I think I've done all right. I was not always the number one, but most of the time I was like between one and three, like top 3, top 5, sales and customer service reps. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to use my skills and I'm going to apply it to the product that I'm going to be selling, right? Because we're all selling something, right? I know there's real estate, and there is also self-care, and somebody else I know. There was self-care and real estate, and what else? Anybody wants to shout out what they do? Insurance. Okay, so there's insurance. So we have a product, right? We have something that we got to market. We have something that we got to sell. So going back to the basics is, in the beginning, you have to have there has to be a vision, right? Or an idea. What is it that you want to accomplish, right? Like in my case, it was solar. We do solar panels. And honestly, I wasn't like an expert or this genius. And I said, oh, it's the sunniest city on earth, so I'm going to bring solar to you, right? No, it was just the opportunity that I had in front of me. And I was like, okay, so it's solar. And I was like, seems like a good product. Seems like we're going to be able to help some people. Seems like it makes sense. Yeah, it's hot. So, they'll be able to produce. And I just grabbed that opportunity, and I just said, what I'm going to do. It was not the ideal job. So if you're maybe thinking and saying, oh, maybe I don't love so much what I do. I think I should be doing something else. But a lot of the times it doesn't really play out like the perfect scenario, like the perfect thing that you wanted to do for a living. I'm a firm believer that if you have an opportunity, you're doing good for customers, you're doing good for yourself, and it's going to make you a good amount of money so you can survive. I think that's the opportunity that you should take. In my case, was solar. So, the opportunity was to go door knocking. So it was not the ideal job, right? My mom's here and she didn't, try to push me to go to college so I could go door knocking, right? It's like, why would he do that? Go out and be in administration or maybe make some calls or be in a fancy office, right? And I just decided to take that opportunity to say, hey, you know what? Seems like it's a cool product. I think it's something nice for the community. I know there's an issue in the community that a lot of people pay high bills, right? So I'm going to see if we can solve this. It seems like this is I didn't know, honestly, in the beginning, I did my investigation. I was like, hopefully this is true, right? Because I don't want to burn myself here in the community. It's not community, right? But I did my research and I was, confident with it. And I decided to just believe it and just start offering to customers. And then little by little, we started to build a good reputation with the customers. And at the beginning, it was the company that I started working with, Solar City, which is now Tesla. I'm sure you guys recognize Teslas. The Tesla cars, right? And the Tesla. So it was when it was barely starting. And I thought it was really cool because it was here in Yuma. Usually like the big companies, Mercedes, BMWs, and this high-end brand, they're usually on the Phoenix, LA areas and all those areas. And typically they don't really catch a lot of interest, in cities outside of those bigger cities, right? So we did it, and then they sold off the company. So then we were left off without our job. We did there for a little bit, and then they left off. And then somehow I developed this courage to say, like, I don't want to leave my customers hanging, right? Like, I don't want to, I already put my name out there. I, help out a few people with solar. So I was like, and I like this. I want to continue to do this. So therefore, that's where the idea happens. Like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever it takes to bring this guys back because it's, people here in the community need this product. And I want to make sure that I still take care of my customers because a lot of the contracts that we do, they're for 7 years, 10 years, even extended all the way to 25 years, right? So I think one of the biggest thing to me was too, I wanted to be committed because I was like, I signed 7 years or 10 years or even 25 years contracts. So I want to make sure that my customers that I took care of, I'm going to be here for them, right? So I think that was the biggest thing for me that drive me because first, I'm not a quitter. I'm not going to quit, right? My reputation is big. I want to take care of it. And then second, I want to make sure that, the people within the community that I'm going to be living are really taken care of, right? So that was the initial states of the business. And then as I started, I said, okay, so how do I want this to look like, right? What is the vision? What do I want? Why am I doing this? I want to make sure I'm doing this for the right reason. I'm not doing it just because I want to be a business owner, right? Like, I just want to, just have business. No, at the moment, it was more than that. I was like, I have friends that were working with me. I had family members that were part of what we were doing. So I was like, I want to provide an opportunity for them so they could also have a living and they could work in a place where they could, be proud of and they could provide a really good service. So that's how I initially started. And of course, I needed to survive. I needed to make money, right? So I wanted to make some good income because, at the end of the day, like the bills were not going to pay it if I didn't make some money, right? So that's one of the main reasons I had a vision. I said, okay, I want to, I want to have this much people. This is a quality that I want to bring to my clients, and this is what I want to do. And then it's really important. I also set a vision to how much revenue I wanted to create, right? Because the revenue is, some people say, don't talk about money, don't be too greedy and stuff like that. But it's not being greedy. It's just business is also like a sport. Right, like how can you track how much people you impact or how much people you helped out if you don't have a record to track, right? You don't have a scoreboard, right? So that's the way that a good book that you guys could also reference from is The Sport of Business. Anybody heard about Mark Cuban? Mark Cuban, he's a Shark Tank, right? He wrote this book. It's called The Sport of Business, and he talks about that too. Like if you create this type of environment which is similar to a sport, to what you're doing, whether is it that it's just one person that's in the business or 2 people or 5 people or even a scale of 100 or 200 people in the business, it's a good system to put around so you could have some fun doing what you do, right? Because a lot of times we don't want to fall in the trap where it's like we're just constantly doing what we're doing, and then we kind of get burned out, right? We want to have a little bit of fun. We want to kind of keep track of what we're doing, how we're getting better, how do we want to innovate, how we want to make how we want to impact more customers, and how we're going to make more revenue. Because at the end of the day, we have employees and we have people that rely on us, that they need to make a living so they can pay for their house, they can pay for their car, and they could have a place where they can feel comfortable and sustainable where they're at, right? Who here lives like some type of peace of mind and security, right? So that's what the employees want, right? That's what the contractors, and that's what we want to, right? As the entrepreneurs, like, we want to have some security. I want to make sure I can pay my bills, right? And I could have a car so I can transfer myself. And then the people that are around me, I want to make sure also that they have some type of security. They have some type of a place where they could have that peace of mind, right? Because they also have family. So I think that's something really important. I know I said a little bit about everything, but just if you girls are writing notes, I'm sorry, I'm not used to speaking to all ladies. This is my first time speaking to all ladies, but if I think one of the things that's really important, if you write vision, what is your vision for the business? Where do you want to take it? Because without the Bible says, without a vision, you'll perish, right? So that's really important. Like, if without a vision, you would just be bouncing around and doing a lot of things. And in a business, it's easy to fall in traps where it's like, I'm not going to do sales. I'm going to look at the numbers and the finances, or I'm going to make sure this is tied. And we avoid some situations, right? But the vision keeps you in line and says like, hey, this is what you got to accomplish. This is what you want to do, right? And I think that's a good roadmap for your business, and a good vision to keep you excited and keep your employees and keep even your customers excited about what you're doing. So I think that's one of the things that, not just myself, but also my team been able to do, and been able to have a good vision. No matter what goals we have been able to accomplish, we always have something to innovate and to get better at, because the better we get, the more people we impact, and the more lives we help, the more people we're able to employ, the more quality we bring to what we're doing, right? And I think that's amazing, and I think customers love that, and even employees and contractors love that, right? So I'm going to go through the four skills that we talked about in the interview. So I believe it was like 2 years ago. So I'm going to try to remember all the four skills that we talked about in the interview. But obviously communicating, right? Self-development is really important as a business owner, right? Leadership. All you ladies are leaders in this room. No matter what anybody tells you, you're leaders. You're a leader at home, leader in your community, with your brothers and sisters, whatever it is that you are a leader, and you better believe that 100%, right? So it's important to develop those skills as a leader, especially as an entrepreneur. Obviously, we want to make sure we have some type of empathy. We deal with a lot of stuff as business owners, right? Like, there's things coming your way, employees, contractors, customers, and all this stuff, right? But we got to keep it cool. We got to keep it like nothing's going on, right? Because at the end of the day, we freak out, it only gets worse, right? So it's important to have some empathy, and also that's essential to build a strong business, and it will keep your relationships internally, which is with your employees and with the people that you work with, and also externally with your customers, your distributors, or whoever is it that is helping you get to your business, right? So I think one of the biggest things that has helped us impact the business, and we've been able to grow the way that we've been able to grow, is because I cherish my relationship. I cherish, I will say, my distributors, my manufacturers, people that I work with. I try to send a little gift here and there, and then tell them like how important they are for my business, because without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at, right? I try to, give them the time as not necessarily the time, maybe an email, a text, or whatever, depending on the time that I have, to tell them how important they are, because without them, again, I wouldn't be able to be where we're at. Also, even people that are within my business, employees and contractors, also, I build those relationships, not in a point where I'm eating dinner with all of them, because it will be a little crazy and I don't think I have time, right? But at least the people that are close to me, I try to maintain a good relationship, and also maintain a good, they know that I'm committed with them as well, right? It's not just that, okay, I'm going to take this out of you, take this out of you, and then bye, right? It's more like, okay, if the relationship worked out, there is a lot of good. As long as the relationship has more good than it has bad, then I want to maintain it, right? Because we're all going to go through phases in business and relationships that, there's going to be some hard times, sometimes where you might think like, oh my God, is this the right employee? Is this the right contractor? Is this the right company that I'm building my company around, right? But I think the biggest thing I will say, analyze it, because a lot of times we're living the moment, and we make decisions based on the now instead of analyzing the track record of that relationship, right? Like, okay, so yeah, this is going on. It's horrible. It shouldn't be this way, right? But if I extend the time that I have with this contractor or whoever is it that you have a relationship, and it has definitely been there has been a lot more good than bad, then you should pause and think about it twice before you start to make other decisions, start to fire or hire somebody else to do the work or whatever is it that you're doing, right? Because no matter if you're a business owner, we all depend on other businesses, right? Like some people's like, I'm a business owner. I do everything that I want. I don't depend on nobody. I have all right. I think that's like the biggest myth, right? Like, it's like, no, we depend on people, distributors, customers, employees, and all this stuff, right? So I think to me, that's really important, and it has been able to help us out a lot. And that's one of the things that I've tried, even though as we've grown and we're becoming a bigger corporation, like I still like take care of that as much as I can, right? Sometimes some people, I have, my time is a lot more limited now, but I still, if it's not me, it's one of the persons that are close to me. I talk to them and tell them, hey, keep on building these relationships, and whatever I have a space or a gap, I'm gonna keep on. I'll be there, and I'll talk to them and have some coffee or something. And this is huge too. So I think if there's going to be some note taking coming out of this presentation, is always being open to learn, right? Because as human beings, we got to be careful with ourselves, right? Because we could become arrogant, right? That's big, right? Because you're like, oh, well, I made some money already. I'm making more than my other job, right? Like I was like, I'm doubling, tripling, like all the 9-to-5 job that I used to do, right? So I got it. I'm all good. I won't ever need this or need that, right? But it's important to, check yourself and say, hey, are you being humble? Are you learning? Are you seeking, to grow? Are you working on yourself? Are you working even internally in the company? Because a lot of the times, like I've seen tons of business that, people that get to the top and then they're good, they develop bad habits, they have more time in their hands, and then they do all this other stuff and they don't catch themselves, like they're starting to, collapse. And I mean, I think at some point we all face that, but I think the more that you're aware of, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mike. The more you're aware of the situation and you catch yourself on it, the better you'll be able to handle it, right? But invest in yourself, it's huge. I think just by being here tonight, that's amazing. So I don't think we have any of those people. So right here, so we're already winning. So being in rooms like that, right? And also, this was really big for me too. Being also in areas where maybe you might be the biggest, you might be one of the who here is the best at what they do. Everybody who's here the best. Like I'm the best at what I do, right? There's nobody that does it better, right? Awesome. That is the attitude, right? But there is times that we have to go to places where maybe we're not the best at what we do. And we have, because we need that reality. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm good, but damn, man, this girl's good, right? Like, so, part of doing those things is gonna help you improve any areas of opportunities that you might have, right? Because we all have them, right? We're not perfect, and then you'll take something really good out of it, and you're gonna come back and say, hey, I think especially within the area, right? Sometimes, there's a little bit, there is some things that, and this is why I love Yuma, because there's a lot of things that we don't do as a city, which is good, right? Because a lot of things that are going on in the big cities are like a little crazy, But one thing that I do know is there is some good things in bigger cities that they're adapting. And I think it's important for us to grab the good things, right? Grab some of the good things and then apply it to what we're doing as a business. For example, even being in I think it's self-care real estate, right? Going to maybe, I think New York, it's great, right? I think real estate is, right? Is it? Oh, you're from New York? Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, so you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, so I think just by even visiting and knowing a little bit about that market and just being a little bit mind-blowing about, what's going on out there and saying, you know what, I'm going to take this from New York and that I like, that is going to bring value to my community and to my people, and try and practice it here, right? Because I think things like that will definitely help you improve your business and help your employees and your contractors and the people that you're doing business, right? And I don't think I have to talk too much about this, right? Because I think we have you girls are the experts at this. So self-care, right? So I think I'm gonna get a couple of tips from all you about the self-care, right? Because as being a business owner, like, it's a busy life, right? It's busy. Clients, employees, trainings, requirements, regulations, license, right? Hiring, onboarding, and all this extra stuff, right? And sometimes we don't prioritize ourselves, right? Like, hey, I need, to maybe whatever is it that you enjoy doing, right? Is it running? Is it walking? Is it working out? Is it, spa? Is it, whatever is it that gets you off, your schedule that you usually have, the kids, right? Your significant other, whatever it is, like, it's important to have some self-care. So one of the tricks that I've learned, it's having an extra hour for yourself, waking up earlier than anybody else, and just having an hour, before anybody else. There's no calls. There's, people are still asleep, right? And you get to be a little bit yourself, meditate, pray, right? Because obviously, one of my biggest things is praying, right? God, he's the one that takes care of everything else. So I got to be in touch with the higher up and then take care of myself a little bit, right? Take care of myself, working out, listening to maybe some music, something that would inspire me, something positive, something that's going to get my day moving, something that's going to get me in a good attitude. By the time I get home, I already have the baby crying, and I have all this going on. I'm like, okay, I'm ready, right? So let's do it. So, and I think that's really important, right? And there's a lot of things that we could talk about self-care, and I think you're the expert, right, on this topic. But those are some few tips that I've learned from top entrepreneurs, top business owners that I've been able to meet and that I've been able to invest in them, and I've been able to be mentored by, because and it's really valuable, because a lot of people can get lost in that, and that's where things get a little bit more frustrated. There's a lot of things that could have an effect on that, right? So one of the final and bonus that we had here, which we had our amazing team help me make it nice and pretty, is that I would have mentioned that, we got to have some faith too, right? If you're going through some hard times, or, whether is it the economy, whether is it that maybe things are not the way that you would want for things to be, or things are not working how you would think they were going to work out, just have some faith, keep calm. And again, and if you have a vision and you have something that you've been working for, there's a reason why. I truly believe that God put that in your heart, because you have this desire that you're like, I want to accomplish this, right? And there's a reason why, that's been put in your heart, is because as human beings, I believe 100% that God allowed us to manifest, some of the dreams and some of the things that He put in our heart, right? So we do have that skill. We do have that, we're able to accomplish big things, big goals, big accomplishments. We're able to inspire a lot of people, right? And whatever we have deep inside of us, like, it's going to happen, right? But so that's why it's important for us to continue to do the best, at least do the best where we're at, right? You might not be where you want to be at the moment, but just, just be grateful and have some faith, and things will align, right? Maybe it's not exactly how we wanted it to turn out, but to be honest, and as far as the business world, because I'm 31, but as far as some of the things that I've done in business, like, some of the things that I had in mind and I wanted to accomplish, it wasn't that. It was even greater than that, And that's part of the reason because it wasn't because of me, right? It's because it was a team that I have. Obviously, God was number one that helped me, guided me towards that. But again, it wasn't how I wanted. It was a lot greater, and a lot of the times, every single thing that I wanted was not how I wanted for it to be. But I believed and I had faith and and I pushed and I kept on working, and then doors started to open. And I got even further than I thought I was going to get to. So that's something that I want to tell everybody as entrepreneur. It's not easy, but it's doable. And here's a funny ending though. If you believe you have a goal, wait until you get there, because it's going to be a lot better than what you want to accomplish. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.